Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's good to see you again. The NEM did melt. That's some of what's left of it there. It basically melted yesterday, but didn't start coming apart till today. I didn't get a chance to fish it out yesterday, so it's my fault for not fishing it out when I knew it was done for. And now I'm getting it out as I can, but so anyway, I've got salt water mixing downstairs, some already made up. So we're gonna end up doing a water change probably tomorrow as soon as that water's ready. The brine shrimp I was mixing the other day, I fed them today to both tanks. These guys were pretty happy with it. So yeah, yesterday I was inspecting the tank basically everywhere I could. I can't see it right now, but there was another one of those Aiptasias down here. So I was saying that word wrong in that last video all along. It's not Aiptasia, it's Aiptasia. But like I said, there was another one in here, and I know I said I was going to go get some Aiptasia X, but if any of the stores even down here even carried it, they wouldn't be open. So the few stores that are open don't have a Aiptasia product. They don't have a file fish. They don't have peppermint shrimp. So I'm thinking my only solution is going to be to call that local fish store that's a block from the house here, because I know they had peppermint shrimp, and I know maybe they'll just come out the door and sell it to me from the front door or something like that. I know they had a sign that said they would do something like that like 3 weeks ago. So that's about the only thing I can do for the Aiptasia right now. Short of, I'm going to try and get some Aiptasia X from some online retailer, but I'm having trouble figuring out who's open, because I put in like a big order with Bulk Reef Supply I think on Monday, and I haven't heard anything like, hey, we got your order, we're processing it, it's gonna take a minute, or we're shipping it now, or anything. Just that they received my order, and that's it. So I don't remember that Bulk Reef Supply is all that communicative anyway, so who knows, maybe they already shipped it and it's gonna be here tomorrow or next week maybe. But anyway, finding an Aiptasia down here attached to the skimmer cup, or whatever you want to call it, the filter cup, yeah, that's the name of it. So finding one down here in the sump can only mean that there are more. Plus, now that it's not on this side of this cup here anymore, where to go? So I'm definitely gonna have a problem here. Plus, that one that was down here in the bottom, it was so small, or it was so clear and white, I could almost hardly not see it at all. So there could definitely be lots of them in there, and I just can't see them. The only one I can see is that big granddaddy of them all in the back. So I'm mixing up salt water, not just for the cube, but for this tank too. We'll do a little water change in here basically for it being 2 months old. I think the fish will like it. So far, everything else on the tank is fine. The algae, I mean, besides the sand is really the only thing I'm having a real problem with. The rocks aren't getting it so bad anymore. It's just that stuff on the sand. So I'm thinking my light changes are doing good. I still haven't turned the refugium light back on. And I think I might leave it off for at least another day or two. And whenever I do that water change, I'm going to go ahead and clean in there finally. But I don't know if you've noticed this big old clean spot in the front here from where the engineer gobies clean up their hole where they live. They're getting friendlier and friendlier by the minute. That's pretty great. I'm going to go ahead and give them a little treat. Let's see, what should we get them today? So I'm going to go ahead and give them the Hikari Marine S that I have a sample of. A little bit of it in the hand here. Try and just get a little bit of it at a time, because they won't come to the surface for it. They gotta wait till it hits the waves on the surface of the tank, and then they'll start picking it out of the water stream. See? Go, now let's get the hint of it. Ooh! That is the first time one's ever fed off the surface before. Throw a couple more in there, maybe they'll get it. Yep, that one has learned to eat from the surface. Now we got two of them that have figured out how to eat from the surface. We're doing good. Despite how it looks like they're having trouble swimming, if they see a piece of food go by, they can really swim. Well, I got a lot of those in there. Yep. A handful of them is practically gone, so yeah, I must have put them all in. Alright, since I've given this many to them, I'll just go ahead and throw the last couple in here. They'll be gone in seconds. So if I'm going to do a review on this Marine-S food, pretty much the only thing I have to say about it, I mean, the fish like it. All the fish I have like it. The only thing I notice about it is it floats really, really good. It doesn't sink very well, so if you're trying to look to surface feed something, you know, something that won't eat food that sinks, I mean, my fish is already searching the bottom of the tank to see if you missed any. So that's something if your fish have like specific eating preferences. Like for a while I couldn't get these guys to eat anything on the surface. So I had to give them either the fish eggs or the micro pellets here sink pretty fast, and they were liking those. So same with the marine carnivore. There just wasn't enough in what I shot yesterday to make into an episode, so we're extending into today. We're gonna feed the engineer gobies. I'm guessing one of them are hiding. Yep, there he is. So let me get this food to him. Just hold on a second. So they're just getting their eggs today. So these guys are going to need food too. So we'll give them some eggs. Pretty much always blow it right into the power head like that, because it mixes it up real good and gives the clown goby a chance to get out into it before it's all gone. Now as I pack this up, I happen to know there's a package sitting on my porch. So let's put the fish eggs away. Let's go get the package off the porch. Let's find something to open this with. Preferably not something that big. AirPod packaging. And let's see what I bought. So this is a refill kit for my DI, my RODI setup. Mostly because the DI resin probably needed changed. I also bought a new test kit because everybody keeps telling me the API test kits are crap, and that's probably why I'm not getting and I bought the wrong test kit. Anyway, so at least now I can know what my calcium carbonate hardness and magnesium is. Although I'm a little upset because I was trying to get a full test kit, something that's actually going to tell me why this tank keeps killing anemones and corals and stuff like that. And I don't know that that's a test that's going to show me that. But what the hell, moving on. So this is Acclimate standard kit. So it has this valve, this air hose. Not sure what that plate thing is. It's got some suction cups. It's got this stick, which is the fancy way you control how this acclimates your fish and stuff like that. And this looks like it's the unit itself. Yep. So this is the Acclimate itself, which is pretty interesting. What this is oh, and it's got suction cups on it already. Alright, so this thing suctions onto the side of your tank. Got little posts here to keep it off. I'm going to keep it some distance off your tank, but use this to acclimate your fish. Not only that, it has like a 2-layer system. So it's got this inner tank and this outer tank. So this must be what the other suction cups are for. They'll go in this thing, just in case you want to put it in the tank, because this one actually has holes in it to visually acclimate your fish. And then I assume what this thing is this is a snap-on travel lid. So let me just open that up and get that out real quick. So the shipping paper they had on the lid there was not easy to remove. This thing has a notch on this end and a little hole drilled in this end. I'm not sure what those are for yet, but this thing is a lid. So that not only can it acclimate your fish, but you can transport your fish too with it. Alright, so this stick here, this is their timer. So based on how many of these links you put into the hose, that's how slow the water will pour back out. So the more of this stick that's in this tube, the less water it's going to let drain out. So by using that, you can control how long it takes to fill or to acclimate your fish, basically. Anyway, I thought that was pretty nifty. I needed some kind of more accurate acclimation setup than using a cup and pouring some water in it. And so that brings me to the fourth and final item. I saw it as listed as open box on BRS's website, and I've been looking for a cheap deal on one of these. It's a Hydor Korala Smart Wave, which hopefully isn't missing many parts. There's no instruction manual, there's just the thing itself, so we're gonna have to figure that out by ourselves, but looks like it'll be pretty simple. Those are the appropriate pumps for this machine. These are both Hydor Korala nano pumps, so they'll plug into here and this thing will turn them into wave pumps instead of how I've had them set up, which is in daytime this one runs and at nighttime this one runs. Not only that, but now I can tie on, I think I'm going to have maybe both the whites and the blues on at the same time and then have them off every night, because that's how this tank is, right? So maybe that's how that light was supposed to be controlled in the first place, is blues and whites on daytime and then just off at night. So we're gonna hook that up. Plus we got to do water changes today, so we got a busy day coming up. So we'll be using the usual process to do the cube, which is to first unplug everything on the continuously powered side of this power strip here. There's my filter, my skimmer, my heater. See, filter, skimmer, heater, and ATO. So we got all that unplugged. The water has stopped moving for the most part, except for the power head. So the power head's gonna have to be unplugged too. Because one of these are the light and the other one's the power head. So these are the two power heads here. Go ahead and unplug both of them. And all we got left that's still plugged in is daylight and nightlight. And we might be changing that up as we're doing this. So get the trusty siphon hose here, and we're gonna look for any remaining pieces of that NEM that might still be floating around in there. And we're just gonna do a nice vacuum of the rocks and change the filter floss, and that'll be it for this tank. So, well, it's nice and clouded up, but it's clean. This is what it looks like with both the white lights and the blue lights running. So I think I'm probably going to leave it like that for a bit and just kind of see what happens with it. But yeah, who knows. So like I said, that's the way that tank runs, the white and blues at the same time. So maybe that's how this was supposed to be all along. So now both of the lights, both the whites and the blues, are on the same schedule. So they'll turn on at the same time, turn off at the same time, that sort of thing. There's that. We'll move on to trying out this Hydor Korala Smart Wave. So we'll go ahead and plug that in and just start testing it out. The right power head plugged into the right side, the left power head, or should I say, I have the left power head plugged into the left side and the right power head plugged into the right side. Now I'm going to reroute this wire to go underneath this stuff, just in case I decide to mount it later. And then we'll plug it in and see what happens. So we're plugging it in. I got some lights blinking. I believe that's feed mode. There's also an on-off switch on the top. apparently that didn't turn it on, that turned it off. So this may be the delay between the pumps, so I turned it down to like 1 minute. Left side solid. Well, I don't want it on for a whole minute. 15 seconds. Try turning that down. And it just switched to the other side. So yeah, they're trading off. So this is my time selector as to how often the pumps run. So yeah, so I can dial on this side for it to run every 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 1 minute, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 3 hours, 4 hours, as to how often it switched back and forth. And I believe this is my level. So I go up to 2, see what happens. Okay. So having 2 means it runs both pumps at the same time. Having it on 1 means it runs just 1 pump. And it doesn't appear that there's a dial on the amount of speed. All right, well, it's disturbing a lot of sand, plus me cleaning the tank has disturbed it a lot. So we're gonna let that settle down and just keep doing its thing. We'll come back and check on it later. So I kind of ran a little long there, but come back tomorrow and we'll do the water change on the 250, and we'll crack into that Red Sea test and start testing that stuff. But right now I got to get on the internet and start ordering that Aiptasia X and probably a proper test kit for the nitrate and nitrite and ammonia and stuff like that. The stuff that I should be testing for that API test probably isn't good enough at. So until then, I'll see you next time.